There's a kitchen in Pennsylvania where the clock stopped in 1850. No electricity, no refrigerator, no microwave, just a wood stove, a cast-iron pot, and a woman rolling out noodles the same way her great-great-grandmother did. I ate dinner there once, and I'll never forget what she told me. She said, "We don't cook like this because we have to. We cook like this because we remember." That hit me hard, because every dish on this table tonight isn't just food, it's a memory, a tradition, a piece of history you can actually taste. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why some of these dinners made grown men cry, why one of them was banned in some Amish communities, and why the last dish on this list, well, let's just say it changes everything you thought you knew about dessert. 25 dinners, 200 years of tradition. Let's step back in time. 1. Chicken and noodles. This is the dish that started it all for me. Thick, buttery egg noodles swimming in golden chicken broth. The noodles are rolled out by hand on a wooden table, cut with a knife, dropped into a pot that's been simmering since morning. The chicken? It walked around the yard yesterday. Amish grandmothers make this on Sundays after church. The kitchen fills with steam, the windows fog up, and everyone knows what's coming before they even sit down. There's no recipe written down, just hands that remember, hands that learned from other hands, going back generations. The noodles are thick enough to soak up all that broth, soft enough to melt on your tongue. And when you take that first bite, you understand something important. You understand why the Amish don't need fancy restaurants, why they don't need celebrity chefs or cooking shows. Because this is perfect exactly as it is. It's warm, it's filling, and it tastes like someone's arms wrapped around you on a cold day. This is comfort you can hold in a bowl. 2. Beef and noodles. If chicken and noodles is Sunday, beef and noodles is Saturday. And trust me, Saturday hits different. The beef cooks low and slow for hours, sometimes all day, until it falls apart if you even look at it. The broth turns dark and rich, almost like liquid gold. Then those same homemade noodles go in, thick, chewy, ready to soak up every drop. This dish came from the days when you used every part of the animal, when wasting food wasn't just wrong, it was unthinkable. When dinner took time because time was all you had. Amish families eat this on working days, after barn work, after plowing fields, after hours in the sun. One bowl and your whole body relaxes. The beef is so tender it doesn't need teeth. The noodles are hearty and thick. And the broth? It tastes like patience, like someone cared enough to do it right. There's no rushing this dish, no shortcuts, no microwaves to speed things up. And maybe that's exactly why it tastes so good. 3. Meatloaf with oatmeal. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most people use breadcrumbs in meatloaf. The Amish use oatmeal. And when I first heard that, I thought it was strange, maybe even wrong. But then I learned the story. During the Great Depression, oatmeal was cheaper than bread. It stretched the meat further, fed more mouths with less money, kept families alive when times were hard, and even after times got better, they kept doing it. Because it worked, because it tasted right, because memory matters. The oatmeal makes the meatloaf softer, almost creamy inside, and when you slice it, it holds together like a promise kept. Amish mothers serve this with mashed potatoes and green beans. Simple sides, nothing fancy, but here's the thing about simple, it lets you taste the care. Every slice of this meatloaf tells a story about survival, about making do, about turning less into more. And when you taste it, you're not just eating dinner, you're eating resilience. 4. Ham loaf. Wait, ham loaf? Yes. And before you make that face, hear me out. It's like meatloaf's sweeter, more interesting cousin. Ground ham mixed with ground pork, shaped into a loaf, baked until golden. Then here's the magic. They glaze it with brown sugar and mustard, sweet and tangy, salty and rich. It sounds strange until that first bite hits your tongue. Then it makes perfect sense. This dish shows up at Amish weddings, at funerals, at Sunday dinners when company comes over. It's special, but not too special. The kind of dish that says, "You matter," without making a big show about it. The brown sugar caramelizes on top, creates this glossy, sticky crust that catches the light. The mustard cuts through the sweetness just enough. And inside? Tender, juicy, full of flavor you can't quite name but somehow recognize. People always go back for seconds. Always. Because ham loaf is proof that the Amish understood something important. Sometimes the best flavors come from combinations nobody else thought to try. 5. Pork and sauerkraut. Here's the thing about this dish. If you grew up Amish, you ate it on New Year's Day. Every single year. No exceptions. Pork for good luck. Sauerkraut for prosperity. It's a Pennsylvania Dutch tradition that goes back hundreds of years to the old country. My first time trying it? I wasn't sure. The sauerkraut smelled strong, sharp, almost too much. But then I tasted it with the pork, and everything changed. The pork is tender and mild, cooked slow until it practically melts. The sauerkraut is tangy and sharp, cutting through all that richness. Together? They balance each other like old friends who know exactly what the other needs. Amish families cook this in huge pots, enough to feed everyone who stops by, because on New Year's Day, your door stays open. The smell fills the whole house, drifts out into the yard, tells the neighbors what day it is without saying a word, and when you sit down to eat, you're not just hoping for good luck. You're tasting 2 centuries of hope, of families who believed tomorrow could be better. That's powerful stuff. 6. Scrapple. Okay, let's talk about Scrapple, because this is where some of you might get uncomfortable. It's pork scraps, cornmeal, and spices pressed into a loaf. Sliced thin, fried until the edges get crispy and golden. The Amish made it because they used every single part of the pig, head to tail, snout to feet. Nothing thrown away, nothing wasted. Some people love it, some people can't even look at it. But here's the truth. When it's fried just right, with a little butter in a hot cast-iron pan, it's crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. It tastes like Saturday morning, like hard work and no apologies. My Amish host told me something I'll never forget. He said, "Fancy people throw away what keeps us strong." That hit different, because Scrapple isn't trying to be pretty. It's not competing with bacon or sausage for Instagram likes. It's honest food, made by honest people, who understood that respecting the animal meant using all of it. And you know what? Once you get past the name, it's actually delicious. It's not for everyone, but nothing real ever is. 7. Chicken pot pie. Hold on. This isn't the pot pie you're thinking of. No flaky crust, no little pie dish, no golden pastry top. Pennsylvania Dutch chicken pot pie is completely different, and way older. It's chicken, broth, and big square noodles cooked together in one pot. The noodles are thick and doughy, almost like dumplings but flat. They soak up all that chicken broth, get soft and slippery, coat your tongue with butter and comfort. This dish goes back to the 1700s, when the German immigrants came to Pennsylvania. They brought this recipe with them across the ocean, and the Amish kept it alive. Amish cooks make the noodles from scratch, roll them out thick, cut them into big squares with a knife, drop them right into the bubbling broth. No fancy techniques, no measuring cups, just feel. The chicken falls off the bone, the broth is rich and golden, and those noodles? They're everything. When you eat this, you're eating the same meal Amish families ate in 1750. Same recipe, same method, same love. That's the kind of history you can taste. 8. Beef pot roast with root vegetables. This is Sunday dinner royalty. A big hunk of beef, carrots, potatoes, onions, turnips, all thrown into one pot and cooked low and slow until everything surrenders. The beef gets so tender you could cut it with a spoon. The vegetables soak up all those meat juices, turn sweet and soft. Amish families make this after church, put it in the oven before they leave, come home to a house that smells like heaven. The pot roast sits in the middle of the table, steam rising, everyone gathered around. The father slices the meat, the mother serves the vegetables. The children pass the plates. Everyone waits until everyone has food. Then they eat together. Slowly. No phones, no TV, just people and pot roast. The beef is rich and savory. The vegetables are sweet and earthy. And the gravy? Oh, the gravy. It's thick and dark, full of flavor that took hours to build. This is the meal that reminds you what dinner used to mean, before it got fast. 9. Baked chicken with bread filling. The Amish don't call it stuffing, they call it filling, and it doesn't go inside the chicken, it goes beside it. Here's why that matters. When you stuff a chicken, the filling gets soggy, steamed. The Amish figured out a better way. They bake the chicken separate, make the bread filling in its own pan, let both get crispy and golden. The filling is made from torn bread, butter, celery, onions, and sage. Simple ingredients, big flavor. It bakes until the top gets crunchy. The inside stays soft, and every bite tastes like Thanksgiving even when it's just Tuesday. The chicken, rubbed with butter and salt. That's it. No fancy marinades, just chicken that tastes like chicken. Amish cooks serve this at weddings and church gatherings. Big pans of filling, platters of golden chicken, enough to feed 100 people. And it always disappears. Because sometimes the best cooking isn't about being clever, it's about doing simple things perfectly. 10. Smoked sausage and cabbage. This dish smells like autumn. Smoked sausage sliced into thick coins, cabbage cut into wedges, everything cooked together in one big pot with butter and a little bit of vinegar. The sausage is smoky and rich, the cabbage gets soft and sweet, and the butter ties it all together. Amish families make this when the weather turns cold, when the garden is finishing up, when the cabbage heads are ready to harvest. It's simple, filling, cheap to make. The cabbage melts in your mouth. The sausage has that deep, smoky flavor that makes you close your eyes, and the butter makes everything shine. No fancy presentation, no garnishes, no Instagram photos, just a big bowl of food that warms you from the inside out. My Amish host told me his grandmother made this 3 times a week during winter. He said he never got tired of it. Now I understand why. Because when something is this good, this honest, this real, you don't need variety, you just need a bigger bowl. But what comes next? That's where things get interesting. 11. Fried chicken. You think you know fried chicken, but you don't know Amish fried chicken. No buttermilk marinade, no secret spice blend with 11 herbs, no pressure fryer, just chicken, flour, salt, lard. That's it. The Amish fry their chicken in big cast-iron skillets filled with melted lard from their own pigs. The oil gets screaming hot. They dredge the chicken in seasoned flour. Drop it in, let it sizzle. The skin gets impossibly crispy, golden brown, crackly. The inside stays juicy, tender, perfect. And the flavor? It's pure, clean. You taste the chicken, not a coating trying to hide it. Amish families make this for Sunday dinners and special occasions. They fry it outside sometimes in big pots over open fires, and when it's done, they pile it high on platters. Still steaming, still crackling. The crispy skin crunches when you bite it. The meat pulls away from the bone easy. No sauce needed, no dipping required. This fried chicken doesn't need help. It's confident all by itself. And after one bite, you understand, sometimes less really is more. 12. Liver and onions. All right. I know what you're thinking. Liver? Really? Yes, really. Stay with me. The Amish eat liver because it's nutrition-packed and because wasting any part of the animal isn't an option. It's about respect, about gratitude. But here's the secret. They know how to cook it right. Thin slices, soaked in milk first to take away the bitterness, dredged in flour, fried fast in butter. Then they pile on the onions, sliced thin, cooked slow until they're sweet and golden and almost melting. The liver stays tender. The onions add sweetness, and together, they're actually good. I was shocked, too. Amish grandmothers serve this with mashed potatoes and gravy. The gravy from the pan drippings, rich and dark. And when you eat it all together, you get it. It's not pretty. It's not trendy. It won't show up on food blogs, but it's packed with iron and vitamins. It uses what you have. And when you cook it the Amish way, with patience and respect, it's actually delicious. Don't judge food by what it is. Judge it by what it becomes in the right hands. 13. Salmon patties. Here's the thing about salmon patties. They're made from canned salmon. And that's not a mistake. That's the whole point. During hard times, canned salmon was affordable, available, long-lasting. Amish families kept it in the pantry for quick meals. They'd mix the salmon with crushed crackers, eggs, and onions, form it into patties, fry them golden in butter. The outside gets crispy. The inside stays soft and flaky, and they taste like Friday night, like payday dinner, like making something special out of something simple. Amish kids grow up eating these, their comfort food, memory food. My host told me his mother made these every other Friday when he was growing up. He said he can still taste them when he closes his eyes. The patties are tender and savory, a little bit crispy on the edges. They serve them with mashed potatoes or coleslaw, simple sides that don't compete. And here's what gets me. You don't need fresh fish or fancy ingredients to make something people remember forever. You just need someone who cares enough to cook it right. Real always tastes better. 14. Poor man's steak. The name says it all, and it's perfect. You take ground beef, mix it with crackers and milk, shape it into rectangles like steaks, dredge them in flour, fry them in a pan, then bake them in gravy. It's fake steak, budget steak, Depression-era magic, and the Amish still make it today because it works. During the 1930s, real steak was impossible for most families. Too expensive, out of reach. So they got creative. They took what they had and made it look like what they wanted. Poor man's steak became a Friday night tradition, a celebration meal that didn't break the bank. The steaks come out tender and smothered in gravy. Rich, filling, satisfying. You serve them with mashed potatoes and green beans, and when you put it all on the plate, it looks like a feast. Amish families still make this when money's tight or when they just want to remember where they came from, because poor man's steak is more than food. It's a reminder that you can make something beautiful even when you don't have much. That creativity beats money every time. 15. Amish haystack dinner. This one's different. This one's fun. Haystack dinner isn't one dish. It's a pile of choices. You start with rice on the bottom, then you add layers, black beans, seasoned ground beef, shredded cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, sour cream, salsa, crushed tortilla chips. Everyone builds their own haystack, as tall as they want, as messy as they dare. The Amish love this meal because it's easy to make for big groups, church gatherings, family reunions, weddings. You just set out all the ingredients in bowls. Let people go wild. Kids love it because they get to pick what goes on. Adults love it because it's simple and everyone's happy. The flavors mix together as you eat. Creamy and crunchy, spicy and cool. Every bite is a little different. And here's the beauty. There's no wrong way to build a haystack. Haystack dinner is the Amish version of customizable food. Before that was even a thing. It's practical, it's communal, and it's absolutely delicious. It proves the Amish aren't stuck in the past. They adapt, they create, and haystack dinner works for everyone. 16. Stuffed peppers, green bell peppers, hollowed out, filled with a mixture of ground beef, rice, onions, and tomato sauce, baked until tender. Simple, classic, perfect. The Amish make stuffed peppers when the garden is overflowing with peppers in late summer, when there's more than the family can eat fresh. So they stuff them, bake them, feed everyone. The peppers get soft in the oven, sweet. The filling inside is savory and rich, and when you cut into one, everything spills out onto your plate. It's beautiful in a humble way. Amish mothers make a whole pan of these at once. 8, 10, 12 peppers lined up in rows, baked together. The kitchen smells like tomatoes and meat, like summer ending, like the harvest coming to a close. Each pepper is its own little meal, self-contained. Perfect. You serve them with bread and butter, maybe a simple salad. That's it. And when you eat one, you taste the garden, the work that went into growing those peppers. The Amish don't buy peppers at the store. They grow them, they pick them, they fill them with love, and you can taste the difference. 17. Creamed dried beef on toast. The Amish call this SOS. And if you know, you know. Dried beef sliced thin, cooked in a white sauce made with butter, flour, and milk, poured over toast. It sounds weird, it looks weird, but it tastes like Saturday morning after chores. Dried beef was how families preserved meat before refrigerators, salt-cured and hung to dry. It lasted for months. When you wanted to use it, you'd slice it thin, rinse off some of the salt, cook it in milk and butter. The sauce gets thick and creamy. The beef adds salty, savory flavor, and the toast soaks up everything. Amish families eat this for breakfast or dinner. It's cheap, it's filling, it sticks to your ribs. My Amish host told me his father ate this every Saturday morning for 40 years. Never got tired of it. I tried it skeptically. Then I got it. The creamy sauce is rich and comforting. The dried beef has intense savory flavor. It's not fancy, it's not photogenic, but it's real. And sometimes the strangest-looking dishes are the most satisfying. 18. Bean soup with ham bone. This is what happens after the ham dinner is over. You take the ham bone, the one everybody ignored, the one with little bits of meat still clinging to it. You put it in a pot with dried beans, water, onions, and carrots. You let it simmer for hours, and magic happens. The beans get soft and creamy. The ham bone releases all its flavor into the broth. Those little bits of meat fall off into the soup. You end up with something rich and thick and deeply satisfying. This is leftover magic. This is waste not cooking. This is the Amish way. Nothing gets thrown out. A ham bone isn't trash. It's the beginning of next week's dinner. Amish families make huge pots of bean soup, enough to last for days. They serve it with cornbread and butter. The soup is hearty and filling. It tastes like patience. Every spoonful has bits of ham, soft beans, sweet carrots, rich broth. It's not about having the best ingredients. It's about using every ingredient to its fullest. The best meals sometimes come from what other people throw away. 19. Corn casserole. Sweet, savory, somewhere in between. Corn casserole is creamed corn mixed with whole kernel, corn, sour cream, butter, and Jiffy corn muffin mix, baked until golden. It's sweet enough to be dessert, savory enough to be a side dish. The Amish serve it at every potluck, every church dinner, every family gathering, because everyone loves it. Kids love it, adults love it, even picky eaters love it. The top gets golden and slightly crispy. The inside stays creamy and soft, and every bite tastes like sweet corn sunshine. This dish came about when cornmeal and canned corn were pantry staples, when families needed sides that were cheap and filling. Corn casserole checked every box. It feeds a crowd, and it tastes like celebration even when it's just Tuesday. The sweetness comes from the corn itself, natural sugar, nothing fake. And when you bake it, everything melts together into this perfect balance of textures. Amish kids grow up with this at every meal that matters, because corn casserole tastes like home. 20. Potato casserole, also called funeral potatoes, also called comfort in a dish. Shredded potatoes mixed with sour cream, cream of chicken soup, butter, and cheese, topped with crushed cornflakes, baked until bubbly. This shows up at every Amish funeral, every wedding, every gathering where people need comfort. And the name funeral potatoes isn't sad, it's honest. Because when someone dies, the community shows up with food, casseroles, pies, bread. And potato casserole is always there, always. It's rich and creamy, cheesy and warm. The cornflakes on top add crunch. One bite and you feel held, comforted, loved. The Amish understand that food is more than nutrition, it's communication, it's care made visible. When you bring potato casserole to a grieving family, you're saying, "I'm here, you're not alone." The potatoes are soft and tender, the cheese melts into every bite, and that cornflake topping? It's the little bit of joy in the middle of sorrow. Potato casserole is the dish that holds you when nothing else can. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just show up with warm food. 21. Macaroni and cheese. Not the box kind, not the fancy lobster kind, the real kind. Amish. Macaroni and cheese is elbow noodles baked in a custard made from eggs, milk, and sharp cheddar cheese. No powdered cheese, no shortcuts, just real ingredients baked until golden. The top gets crusty, the inside stays creamy, and the cheese flavor is strong and sharp. This isn't kid food pretending to be dinner. This is serious macaroni and cheese. Amish families make this for Sunday dinners and potlucks. Big baking dishes, enough to feed 20 people. The noodles are tender, the custard is rich, and the cheese, oh, the cheese, it's real cheddar, aged, sharp, the kind that makes your mouth water. They bake it slow. Let the eggs and milk turn into this creamy sauce that coats every noodle, and when you scoop it onto your plate, it holds together. Doesn't run, doesn't fall apart. My Amish host told me his grandmother made this every Sunday after church. He said it was the thing he looked forward to most all week. Now I understand why, because this isn't just macaroni and cheese, it's love baked into noodles. 22. Green bean casserole, fresh green beans, cream of mushroom soup, fried onions on top. You know this dish, but the Amish version is different. They use beans from their garden, picked that morning, snapped by hand, no canned beans, no shortcuts. The beans are blanched first, still a little crisp, then mixed with the cream sauce and baked. The fried onions on top get golden and crunchy, and when you dig your spoon in, you get creamy and crunchy in the same bite. Green bean casserole shows up at every Amish holiday meal. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. The Amish don't buy those French fried onions in a can. They make them, slice onions thin, coat them in flour, fry them in oil. Takes longer, but it tastes better. But the beans? The beans are the star, fresh, green, still tasting like summer even in winter. Green bean casserole reminds you, fresh is better, homemade is better, and patience is always worth it. 23. Pickled red beet eggs, purple, weird-looking, absolutely delicious. Hard-boiled eggs soaked in pickled beet juice until they turn bright pink-purple. Served cold, the eggs taste tangy, sweet, a little earthy from the beets. And the color? It's shocking, beautiful. Unlike anything else on the table, Amish families make jars of these and keep them in the fridge. They eat them as snacks, as side dishes, as quick protein after morning chores. The eggs sit in that beet juice for days, soaking up all the flavor, turning purple all the way through. When you slice one open, the yolk is still yellow, but the white is bright purple. It looks wild. It tastes amazing. The sweetness from the beet juice, the tanginess from the vinegar, the richness from the egg, all in one bite. This is Pennsylvania Dutch tradition going back centuries, when pickling was how you preserved food. Amish kids grow up eating these at every church potluck, and when they grow up, they make their own jars. Pickled red beet eggs are proof that weird can be wonderful. 24. Apple butter and bread. Sometimes dinner is just bread and apple butter. And that's okay. That's perfect, actually. When the day has been long and everyone's tired, the Amish don't stress about fancy meals. They slice thick bread, slather it with apple butter, pour glasses of milk, and that's dinner. Apple butter is apples cooked down for hours with cinnamon and sugar until they turn dark and thick, almost like jam, but deeper, richer. The Amish make it in huge copper kettles in the fall. Stir it for hours outside over open fires. It's a community event. Everyone helps. Everyone takes jars home. And all winter long, those jars feed families. The bread is homemade, dense, hearty, the kind that fills you up. The apple butter is sweet and spiced, like autumn in a jar. Together, they're simple, but they're complete. This meal teaches you something important. Dinner doesn't have to be complicated to be good. Sometimes the best meals are the simplest ones, the ones that just say, here, Eat. Rest. Apple butter and bread is proof that enough is enough. That sometimes what you need most isn't fancy. It's just something sweet and simple after a hard day. 25. Shoofly pie. And here it is, the last dish, the one that changes everything. Shoofly pie. It's molasses and brown sugar baked into a crumb-filled pie, gooey on the bottom, crumbly on top, and the Amish eat it for breakfast, or dinner, or dessert. Because shoofly pie isn't just a dessert, it's survival food dressed up. During the Depression, flour and molasses were cheap. Sugar was precious but could be stretched, and pie crust could make a little bit of filling feed a whole family. So they created shoofly pie. Named because it was so sweet, flies would gather and you'd have to shoo them away. The bottom layer is thick and gooey, like molasses candy. The top is crumbly, like coffee cake. And in between? Pure magic. It's sweet but not too sweet, rich but not heavy, and it tastes like history. Amish families serve this with coffee at breakfast, after dinner, during afternoon visits. My Amish host told me something I'll never forget. He said, "This pie taught us that hard times don't mean you can't have something sweet." Because shoofly pie is more than dessert. It's hope, it's resilience, it's joy made from almost nothing. 25 dinners, 200 years of tradition, and every single one tastes like time. These aren't just recipes, they're memories baked into meals, stories served on plates, pieces of a world that refused to disappear. The Amish kept cooking these dinners, teaching their children, passing down the flavors, not because they had to, but because they remembered. But here's the thing. These dinners, they're just the beginning, because next time we're going deeper. We're heading into Amish kitchens to see the desserts that made grown men weep, the sweets they only make once a year, the treats they won't share with outsiders. And one of them? It's been banned in some communities for being too good. You don't want to miss that. So hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop a comment telling me which dinner from today hit you hardest, which one made you remember something or someone. I'll see you in the next one, where the real magic happens.